Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversational English. I am Ethan.
And I'm Taylor. This podcast is designed to help English language learners hear natural conversations about everyday topics.
That's right. Today we're talking about food and cooking, something we all do every day. We'll discuss cooking processes, share our experiences, and talk about our feelings toward cooking.
Perfect topic for learning everyday English. So, Ethan, let's start with this. Do you enjoy cooking?
I have a love-hate relationship with it, honestly. I love the creative process and the end result, but sometimes the preparation work drives me crazy.
Ugh, the prep work.
Yeah, you know, all that chopping, dicing, mincing garlic, peeling vegetables. It takes forever. And by the time I'm done prepping, I'm already tired.
I totally get that. For me, though, I find chopping vegetables really therapeutic. There's something rhythmic about it.
Really?
Yeah, I put on some music, get my sharpest knife, and just go into this zone. Chop, chop, chop. It's almost meditative for me.
That's interesting. Maybe I need better knives. I have this dull chef's knife that makes chopping onions a nightmare.
Oh no, that's your problem right there. A sharp knife is everything. It makes chopping so much easier and safer too.
Safer? That seems backwards.
I know it sounds weird, but with a dull knife, you have to apply more pressure, and that's when you slip and cut yourself. A sharp knife glides through everything smoothly.
Good point. What about cooking methods? Do you have a favorite way to cook?
I'm a big fan of sautéing. I love heating up my cast iron skillet, adding some olive oil, and just tossing everything together. The sizzling sound, the aromas.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying. Plus, sautéing is fast. You can have dinner on the table in 20 minutes if you prep everything beforehand.
See? That's where we differ. I prefer slow cooking methods, like braising or roasting. I like putting something in the oven and letting it cook slowly for hours.
Oh, interesting.
There's something about the smell, filling the house for hours. And when you're braising meat, it becomes so tender, it just falls apart with a fork.
That does sound amazing. But don't you get impatient waiting?
Not really. I actually find it relaxing. I can start a pot roast in the morning, and by evening, dinner's ready. Plus, braising makes even cheap cuts of meat taste incredible.
That's true. What about barbecuing? Do you ever barbecue?
I try, but I'm terrible at it. I either burn everything, or it's raw in the middle. I can never get the timing right with barbecuing.
Oh no, barbecuing is tricky. The key is controlling the heat zones. You want one hot side for searing and one cooler side for finishing.
Heat zones.
Yeah, so you pile all your coals on one side or turn up only half the gas burners. That way you can sear the meat over high heat to get those beautiful grill marks, then move it to the cooler side to cook through gently.
Ah, that makes sense. I've been trying to cook everything over direct high heat. No wonder I keep burning things.
Exactly. What about foods you really don't like to cook? Any dishes that stress you out?
Oh, definitely anything involving deep frying. The hot oil terrifies me. All that bubbling and splattering.
Yeah, I get that.
I tried making homemade French fries once. The oil started popping everywhere, and I panicked. I turned off the heat and never tried again.
Oh no. You probably had the temperature too high, or there was water on the potatoes. Water and hot oil don't mix well.
I probably didn't dry them properly. What about you? Any cooking techniques you avoid?
Baking. I'm horrible at baking. Cooking is forgiving. You can taste as you go and adjust. But baking is like chemistry.
Right, exactly.
Everything has to be precise. The measurements, the oven temperature, the timing. If you mess up the ratios, the whole thing fails.
I actually love baking for that reason. It's like following a scientific formula. I find it calming to measure everything exactly.
Really?
Yeah, there's something satisfying about sifting flour, leveling off measurements with a knife, and watching bread rise. It's very methodical and peaceful.
I never thought about it that way. Maybe I should try baking again with a more patient mindset.
You should. Start with something simple, like muffins or banana bread. Those are pretty forgiving for baking.
Good idea. What about kitchen tools? Do you have any favorites that make cooking easier?
My stand mixer is a game changer for baking. And my food processor saves so much time when I'm making things like pesto or chopping lots of vegetables.
Oh, food processors are amazing.
Right? You can pulse some garlic and herbs, and boom, instant flavor base. What about you?
My cast iron skillet, definitely. I use it for everything. Searing, baking cornbread, even making pizza. And it just gets better with age.
Those develop such great seasoning over time. Any cooking disasters you want to share?
Oh boy, I once tried to steam vegetables in the microwave without adding any water. The broccoli turned into little green rocks.
No way. That's hilarious. I burned rice so badly once that the pot was completely ruined. Black, crusty rice stuck to the bottom.
Oh no, how did you manage that?
I got distracted and forgot about it. The water boiled away, and it just kept cooking until it was charcoal. The smell was awful.
We've all been there. That's why I love my rice cooker now. It switches off automatically when it's done.
Speaking of smart kitchen tools, do you meal prep at all? I keep hearing about people who cook for the whole week on Sundays.
I tried meal prepping once, but it didn't work for me. I spent the whole Sunday cooking, and by Wednesday, I was so tired of eating the same thing. Do you do it?
I do a modified version. Instead of making complete meals, I prep ingredients. Like, I'll wash and chop all my vegetables, cook a big batch of rice, and maybe grill some chicken. Then during the week, I can mix and match them into different dishes.
That's actually brilliant. So you don't get bored, but you still save time during the week. Speaking of ingredients, do you have a grocery shopping strategy?
I'm terrible at grocery shopping. I go in with a list, and then I see something interesting and completely forget what I actually came for. I end up with random ingredients that don't go together.
Oh, I'm the complete opposite. I plan my meals for the week, make a detailed list organized by store sections, and stick to it religiously. Otherwise, I overspend and waste food.
That makes sense. Do you change what you cook based on the seasons? I find myself craving different foods as the weather changes.
Absolutely. In summer, I'm all about fresh salads, grilled vegetables, and cold soups. But when winter hits, I want hearty stews, roasted root vegetables, and anything that fills the house with warm, cozy smells.
Yes. And there's something about using seasonal ingredients that just feels right. Tomatoes in summer taste completely different from winter tomatoes, spring asparagus, fall squash. They each have their moment.
Definitely. Do you cook differently when you're making food for other people versus just for yourself?
Oh, completely different. When I'm cooking for myself, I might just scramble some eggs or heat up leftovers. But when friends are coming over, I plan everything out. Appetizers, main course, maybe even dessert. I want to impress them.
I get so nervous cooking for other people. What if they don't like it? What if I overcook the meat or undersalt the vegetables? When I cook for myself, I can adjust as I go, but with guests, you only get one shot.
That's true. Speaking of food preferences, do you prefer eating at restaurants or cooking at home? I sometimes order takeout just to see how professional chefs prepare dishes I struggle with.
I love restaurants for special occasions, but honestly, I prefer home cooking most of the time. I know exactly what goes into my food, I can control the salt and oil, and it's so much more affordable. Plus, there's something satisfying about creating a meal from scratch.
I agree about the satisfaction. Have you ever tried to recreate a restaurant dish at home? I once had this amazing pasta dish and spent weeks trying to figure out what made the sauce so special.
Did you figure it out?
Eventually, it was anchovy paste, just a tiny bit mixed into the tomato sauce. I never would have guessed that. I don't even like anchovies on pizza, but somehow in the sauce, it added this incredible depth of flavor.
That's the thing about cooking, those secret ingredients that transform ordinary dishes. I discovered that adding a splash of fish sauce to my beef stew makes it taste so much richer, even though you can't actually taste the fish.
Exactly. Speaking of flavors, do you have a favorite cuisine to cook? I find myself gravitating toward Mediterranean flavors, lots of olive oil, garlic, herbs, and lemon.
I love Asian flavors, the balance of sweet, salty, sour, and spicy. Soy sauce, ginger, garlic, rice vinegar. There's something about that combination that just makes everything taste more complex and interesting.
That's a great point about balance. What about comfort food? When you've had a really rough day, what do you cook to make yourself feel better?
Mac and cheese, definitely. Not the boxed kind, but real cheese sauce made from scratch with sharp cheddar. It takes me right back to childhood. What about you?
For me, it's soup. Any kind of soup, really, but especially chicken noodle or tomato soup with grilled cheese. There's something about warm liquid food that just soothes the soul when you're stressed.
That's so true. Food is such an emotional experience, isn't it? It's not just about nutrition, it's about memories, comfort, creativity, and connecting with others.
Smart. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today, from chopping techniques to cooking disasters. This has been a great conversation about food and cooking.
Absolutely. I hope our listeners picked up some useful cooking vocabulary and phrases. Remember, cooking is all about practice and patience.
Thanks for listening to Conversational English. Join us next time when we'll be discussing another interesting subject.
Until then, happy cooking, everyone, and don't forget to like and subscribe.